Welcome to the Doug Podcast, Episode 5. We have a great show planned tonight featuring Mega Bad Seed, Smiley Police, Max Power, Stick Figure, and introducing a man with over 10,000 Twitter followers. He is the voice for the little guy. He appears on multiple podcasts including TXR with Randall Thor, the man with over 1 million gamer score. He rubs shoulders with the big players at Xbox. We have him here, Beast Fire Tim Dog. And also me, Dougie. Over to you, panel.
What an intro.
Thanks, Doug.
That's a
Thanks for
beast
that intro.
fire.
That was cool. Great intro from Dougie again. 10,000
As
Twitter
always.
followers, man. That's something to be proud of. So, yeah, thanks, Tim Dog. Got to say, man, it's really good that you come on the show so early in the morning over there. We all listen to your podcasts and stuff. And, yeah, when Mega told me you're coming on, I was like, fuck yeah. Good on you, Mega.
Yeah, if you're not following Tim Dog on Twitter, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. The voice of the little man, as Dougie said. So.
Yes, I appreciate that you guys have me on. I met Mega Bad Seed about, I'd say, 3 years ago, and he's been a really cool guy. And the Australian contingent is rising, and it's, as you can see, getting bigger and bigger, and I'm happy to be here. As you know, I mean, it is 6:30 in the morning for me, or 6:40, but that's how much I do respect what you guys do, and your and the community itself, and
and we appreciate it.
And I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy that you guys have this is your 5th episode, and I'm happy to be here.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
So, yeah, normally what we do, we sort of just start off asking everyone what they've been playing and sort of talk about those games. So, may as well start off with you, Tim Dog. Have you been playing anything new? Halo Wars or?
Yeah, I've been playing Halo Wars 2. I just finally got past it's called Hold the Line, which is, if you get to this point of the game, you will know this board. And
Is that when you got to hold the beach level?
Yeah, you have to hold like the west entrance, the west barricade, the east barricade, and there's like a core that they're trying to, the centralized core that they're trying to attack, and it's basically 30 minutes of just trying to deal with everything that they throw at you, and it's extremely
Chaos.
hard. Yeah, it's chaos. I pretty much would say that I played the level 7 times. And lost 7 times. I just finally passed it, and I can honestly say that Halo Wars 2 is a game that I don't think many have played, but it really is high production value. One of the better exclusives Xbox has, and something that that you really should try out. So that's what I've been playing. I also played Candleman, which if you haven't played, it's basically you're a candle and it's a platformer and you have to light other candles. Pretty basic game, top down. Very, the sound is even basic, but it has a little bit of a charm to it. And I enjoy that, but I can't really tell you how much that I really hope people play Halo Wars, even if you want to try the demo, you can try the demo, and I think
it's definitely a great game.
Yeah, it's a great game, and I just feel that people aren't experiencing it because basically it requires more than just picking up a controller and just playing.
Yeah.
There is strategy involved, and there is a little bit of chess moving and
Yeah, definitely.
Constantly putting in it, but if you get past that and you can deal with that, I mean, what an experience so far. And I would, like I said, I would recommend people try it out or give it a chance.
Yeah, I beat that. I got the Ultimate Edition and beat it over the weekend that it came out.
Nice.
I'll definitely back that up. I played co-op, so I recommend people play co-op. It's really fun, and it kind of relieves some of the pressure of looking all over the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
And the multiplayer is not too bad as well. I play with a friend of mine, Miz, who's like really good at it. So we just played triple team with him, and he just won every game for us. So that was pretty good.
That always helps.
Yeah, he was like, "You guys just do what you do, and I'll go and do this and this and this and this and this." I'm like, "Yeah, just do that, man. Let's go."
Yeah. Cool.
It was definitely strategic. I mean, I was just talking about what Tim was saying about strategic. I mean, you can't just group a whole massive army together and walk around the map in one big bunch. You really have to.
Yeah, it does work that way.
Yeah, like you could try that, but the AI is pretty smart. The enemies, even as it's like this is a campaign, and all of a sudden I've had to shift half of them over one way, or a couple of guys here and there to defend some area. It was just like it was pretty. And I'm only playing on normal because I mean, I can't imagine
That's what I played on.
Yeah.
Well, if anyone's a Halo fan, they should definitely pick this up. The cutscenes are the best I've seen in a video game. They're just
they're
get
incredible.
you so pumped. There's
awesome.
a few of them when like the Spartans are fighting, like when they fight Atriox, which was kind of they showed at E3, so it's not a spoiler. And then one later on in the game where one of the Spartans, Jerome, is fighting. That scene's just amazing. So
yeah, really, the
That's
graphic, the CGI is awesome.
Yeah, like he said,
Yeah.
it really is unrivaled. It is the best cutscenes in the business right now. So, and it's really impressive. I'm surprised that there wasn't much said about that, other than what fans are saying. But I've seen some of the reviews. But this is like the cutscenes are just they really tell a story in a way where. For me, it draws me in. It's just like I'm looking at it, and the graphics of it, or the CGI, or the cutscene is just like wow, and it tells the story.
And 343 came out earlier this week saying, like Bonnie Ross said, that they were trying to get a more simplistic kind of Halo story for like Halo 6 because Halo 5 was pretty convoluted, and if you don't know a lot of like the backstory and stuff, you have no idea what's going on. So I think they really nailed it with like Halo was 2 story. Like it just was simple but sophisticated enough and had enough action and like kind of sad moments. It was like really good.
And Atriox is a fantastic villain.
I can't wait to see him in Halo 6.
Yeah. They got to get him in there somehow.
I agree. I think that he's one of the best villains seen in a while, and
yes,
I'm hoping that that he can be fit into Halo 6. You brought up Halo, the simplistic, the way that how Halo 5 was convoluted, and you had to know. Well, I mean, if there's a template about how to run the story, I think this is a good way to look at, or something to. The way they so far, the storytelling and the pace of this whole game, like I said, I'm really impressed, and I hope that Halo 6 can deliver that, or can deliver the story where it's not, I mean, Halo 5, looking back, the story wasn't up to par previous franchises, and it was definitely, it just wasn't tight. It just was overall. I just felt like it was kind of convoluted, or I just didn't feel like it lacked that oomph of a Halo.
And the fact that you played as Locke, I reckon the Locke factor was the worst. Like when I play a mainline Halo game, I want to play as Chief. I want to be Chief, and being locked for like nearly the whole game. I think you're Chief for 3 missions, and Chief's missions were the best missions in the game. Like one, you went to like one planet and you got like that kind of Halo 1 feel when you went to this planet for the first time, and you're like, "Wow, this is amazing." And then like next mission, you're playing as Locke, and like all the characters, like Buck was good because it's Buck, but like all the characters were bland, and you're like, "I just want to play as Locke," and with Blue Team with like Kelly and Linda and Fred, and see what those guys are like. It was just
that's the way terrible. I felt. I felt like I kind of like was racing to play as Master Chief. I felt like as playing as Locke, I felt like he was bland in the beginning. I mean, I did warm up to him as the game went on, but it didn't feel like Halo. I hate to say
he'll never match Master Chief.
Yeah, like I mean,
You've known him since 2001.
Yeah.
I think there'll be a big emphasis in Halo 6.
Yeah,
I think they're going to really come back with a vengeance, and with the story from Halo Wars going into Halo 6. I think the storytelling is going to be awesome. It's going to be one of the best.
Yeah.
And all on Scorpio.
If they nail that again, I feel bad because Halo, I feel like it did some really good things with Halo 5, but it didn't do on the story side. It didn't do what it usually does at Halo, and I really hope that they can return to form and knock it out of the ballpark on that aspect, because I mean, obviously you guys are big Halo fans, and I could tell that you guys love it, but I mean, it definitely needs to kind of get back to return to form. Like, I'm hoping that Halo 6 comes out and we're just like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And I think part of Halo 5 too was setting up Halo 6. So I think they're going to do it, though, in my opinion. I think they'll pull it off.
It's just been a bad run for them. Like, I'm a massive Halo person. I play a lot of competitive Halo. So Halo 4's multiplayer was not very good. So that wasn't going good for them, and all the abilities and stuff, not many people in the competitive scene liked. And then Master Chief Collection came out. We all know what happened with that. And then Halo 5 came out, and the story's not up to par, because Halo's been such a complete package. Great multiplayer, great story, plus all the features. So it's kind of been a continuous theme with them. So hopefully they can really knock it out of the park with Halo 6, because Halo 5's multiplayer was good. So they need that complete package again.
They need.
I think they will.
Yeah, I think that they will too. I think one of the good things is that they are listening to all of us, and I did get a little nervous when Bonnie said what she said, because there's this this rumor or you keep hearing that Xbox wants to move away from single player and just have really multiplayer, or the naysayers, or there's people like that, the people. So when I heard that, I was like, what the hell is she talking about? Or we're talking about transmedia and this and that. But she did clarify it, and like you guys said, it just wanted to be a simpler way of telling the story, which, to be honest, that's what you got to do. You can't have it where, as we know, the Halo lore is so big,
vast.
so so much that goes to it that even a guy like myself, I mean, I'm very basic. I don't read the comics, or I just want the story to be there and to hit home and to be simple, and when she clarified it, I felt better, because that was a little nerve-wracking when I was like, I thought we were gonna have to I didn't understand what she was talking about, the transmedia and all that stuff, but she did clarify, and they just have to have a simple story to it, and tell the story and have it be powerful, and also for the people that the hardcore like yourself. You guys are always going to know. You're going to know every little nook and cranny. So it's not really that you guys aren't going to be affected. So just kind of dub it down for the casual, and I think it will be better.
You're better off nailing a casual, more simplistic story and nailing it than going for something too complicated and it misses the mark.
It confuses people,
confuses people.
Yeah, not everybody's read every book. As much as we'd love to, not everybody's, so dumb it down a little bit. It's similar to what they did with Star Wars, not everybody's read every single backstory of every character
and knows the whole universe.
Yeah. So, some good points there, Bull. What do you think, Sticker? You're a big Halo fan. Sticker, you're a Halo fan?
Yeah, no, I'm not, man. I'm going to get exposed here. I always went for the the Ghost Recon. I never got into that space sort of thing, with Halo. But I liked Halo Wars 1, so I did play a fair bit of that. And I mean, you don't have to be a Halo fan to play Halo Wars 2.
You don't.
I reckon, so.
No.
and obviously that story side of things and the cutscenes and everything's good, man. I like cutscenes. I watch them.
Yeah.
So they do. That might get me in on the Halo. Look, that pass is coming out and Halo's going to be on it. I'm going to buy it. I've got a few people who play it. You know, Infinite Warfare is another one that I want to sort of get into. So that I sort of I've given COD a miss for a while, but yeah, no, Halo is definitely, Xbox always try to sort of seem to try to treat it with a lot of care. So obviously what you guys are saying.
And respect.
Yeah,
I've heard Phil say a couple of times that without Halo there would be no Xbox. So
yes,
yeah.
And to be fair, like Halo fans are one of the most passionate group of fans I've ever seen. Like, I mean, they freaked out over like the smallest things. Like they thought there would be scoping and stuff. If you remember in Halo 5 when the first year, I mean, when I say like freak out, I mean like, and it's over the simplest shit, but the Halo community is real deal, and you gotta watch out. If Microsoft knows that they are the core, they are the core of the core. I mean,
they don't mind bashing 343, that's for sure.
Oh yeah,
they bash them 24/7. So there's no kumbaya in the Halo community.
They demand excellence. And, 343 have done a good. I think they've done a pretty good job. I mean,
I think so as well.
And look, and getting back to Halo Wars for a second, it's so nice to have. It's so refreshing to have a fresh strategy game on a console. I think it's something that
they're very, very rare.
Console has been missing since Halo Wars.
Yeah, definitely. This whole generation.
Yeah.
It's
just nice to have that extra diversity to our lineup. So
it's definitely diversity for sure.
Halo Wars 1 was that was at 360, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, man, they needed it. They needed it for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to play Command and Conquer and all that sort of stuff.
I loved Command and Conquer.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I said, I honestly feel that it is a type of thing where people don't give it a shot. I mean, you look at and we'll talk about another Sony where they have Bloodborne. Okay, when that came out, and that is a niche game. But people gave it a shot because everyone was basically singing the praises of it and going crazy about it. So I do feel like if Microsoft, and it's not really their fault, if they could have had a better a feel about it or a better way of marketing it, it could have been different. I kind of I felt like they marketed it well, but
those ads are good. The ads they did were really good.
Yeah,
that was a really good marketing campaign.
Yeah, they
just those ads were good.
But I do feel like they didn't. I think with a game like this, you have to try to really hold the consumer's hand and really kind of, if not, try to tell them what the game is about and why you should play it and why you should even or get into it, or what RTS is. I feel like it's such a tough for a console. It's just a tough space that it really needed a lot of help. And unfortunately, I don't think that it's gotten all that help. And I feel like that people, I think Microsoft still has to try to give it a little bit of a push or kind of or get behind it, because it's a great game. It's a good game, and it's something that
they haven't been tweeting out about it as enough as they should be. I heard you talking about that on BGST yesterday.
Very critical.
I agree with that.
I felt like he got a good game, and you need a game that needs to be supported, and it did upset me because I make it for the people who played it. It's a great game, and like it's kind of like not getting the love and respect that it should get. I feel like, I mean, you're talking about like absolutely. I mean, it's one thing to be like it gets a little bit of respect. I mean, it's not getting any. Nobody's talking about it. I mean,
it reviewed pretty well as well. So
yeah, it reviewed well. It had good reviews, and it's just the hype wasn't there, and I kind of I had a bone to pick with Microsoft, and I still hold myself to it. I don't think that the guys at Microsoft, I think that they were kind of taken back by the Horizon and Zelda, love fest that's going on, and
Horizon dropping their reviews the day before. So
they did that strategically too.
Yeah, I know that, but it's just like, ugh. And then all of a sudden it was Horizon time.
And it was Horizon time for Microsoft guys. That's when you're screwed. Is like when you're not promoting your own game.
Yeah.
The game needs it. It's like, wow, well, you're in trouble.
And it's selling well. Like I think it's a second top game in Australia.
And in the UK, I think number 2.
UK as well. So like,
so it's selling decently. So it's not like it's a bomb or anything. Like
it's not a bomb. They should be.
No, we don't expect it to be like doing crazy numbers, but it's doing decent numbers. So,
I mean, I've seen that stream. They had that 8-hour stream when it first came out. But yeah, apart from that, there hasn't been a lot. You're right.
No,
there hasn't been a lot. So I don't know about TV advertising, or have they been promoted on TV?
Yeah, they didn't have it. It seems to be a limited. They had it doesn't seem to a limited AAA type budget where it's not like you're not dealing with Gears or you're not even dealing with Forza Horizon type, marketing money. I do think that they had put some money into it, but it's not that like they spanned it very short period of time, obviously towards launch and for overall it's
just.
It didn't get the full AAA treatment that you usually get for
maybe they didn't expect it to be so popular or something. I don't know. Like Coppers just shout out in the chat. Phil and Mike shouted out more about Horizon Zero Dawn and Zelda, so that must have just happened recently.
Yeah, so it's been.
Yeah,
I mean, it drove me nuts. It drove me nuts.
We've done more.
That's your own game. Really? That's like you guys talking about New Zealand, or
we've got a couple of New Zealand
they're great, but it's just,
it's definitely weird.
It was weird.
Yeah, it
is strange. I can see why people are getting annoyed with it. It was one of the topics actually for later on, but may as well talk about it now. But I can see why it frustrates people and stuff, and it's just. They don't need any more. Like, congratulations, one tweet I can understand, but when they put more than one tweet and doing screenshots and fucking,
and like you're right, Stick, because you don't see any Halo, like you don't see them tweeting out Halo Wars screenshots or
no, that's exactly right.
Like that's what they should be every day. They should be punching. This is Halo as well, by the way. They should be punching out just like I don't know, good positive comments, screenshots. And little 30-second clips every single day.
Let's be honest.
You know what I mean?
They promoted Fallout Shelter more than they did Halo Wars, didn't they? Don't you reckon?
Yeah, you could be right.
It's a good game, though, right?
It is a good game. But
that's because you're always playing it, Mega.
I finally got a video out today, too.
I look at Major Nelson. He didn't play the game. He didn't play any of the single player campaign, which is disappointing.
He's a PR guy.
Yeah.
He's too busy. He's too busy tweeting out. Can't wait to get home to play Zelda.
What's going on, Major? Come on, man.
Phil actually.
Major, you're holding the torch, man.
Phil played the game, and I saw Mike played it a little, and a lot of people dabbled with it. A lot of people played with the multiplayer side with the Blitz. But for this game, throw all that stuff away. Play the campaign. The campaign is where it's at, and it's where the story is, and where the meat and potatoes of the game is. So I think part of it that hurt it is that the guys actually weren't playing it, and I don't know. I mean, if you're Major Nelson, you gotta realize who you are, and you gotta realize, they just got to be a little more self-aware of who they are and what they're about. It's just when it becomes too much, it becomes too much, and I think that they crossed that line. It really became too much with the the promotion of every other product. And it's not really a fanboy thing. It's just what got me is that, you got guys congratulating Guerrilla Games, and I look on their feed and there's nothing to Creative Assembly.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's nothing to the people
nothing
that made Halo Wars. And it's not going to be reciprocated. It's a one-way street. But you're doing a disservice to your own game. And what pisses me off is that I really enjoy the game, and I feel like it kind of got a little bit of a cold shoulder.
That's the worst thing. It is a good game. So like you guys are saying, so it's not like it's a flop like we said before. It's a good game. They should be getting behind it, getting around it, and fucking promoting as much as possible. And it's just it is a bit weird. I know Microsoft seem to be really anti console war, and maybe because they're losing. I don't know.
Yeah, it is because they're losing. It's definitely it's you don't see Sony doing that.
No, they use it to their advantage, don't they? Like maybe I don't know, but yeah, it just seems like they go too far the other way sometimes. I respect what they do, and I was tweeting out with you guys the other day, but maybe it's not so much of a big issue, but I have been thinking about it, and I can see your side of it, man. It's
like the like the official Xbox account tweeting the official PlayStation account and saying congrats on getting out Horizon Zero Dawn. It's like, that's all right, but then it's like,
that's where you
more people working at Xbox.
Everyone.
And they're tweeting out about playing it here and there and all this. It's like, well, what about Halo Wars 2?
Yeah, playing other games more than their own.
They only got a few IPs, like first party games this year, like that we know of. We only know of 4.
Exactly.
So they
got to
really
focus on those.
Might as well plug them.
Yeah.
I don't think that they could say congratulations, and I don't want it to sound like a total like I don't want to come off as like somebody who's like a total fanboy. But what at first I didn't have an issue. Like I had an issue with the Halo Wars 2 thing with the day, because basically they dropped the Horizon Metacritic, and that dominated, and it dominated within even Microsoft with their people on Twitter, and that's what really annoyed me. But what I let it go, and it wasn't really an issue, but then it was just constant. I'm looking at all of it, and it's like now it's like 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. Now you're talking about Switch, and you're not doing this. And nothing's being talked about. So I kind of did really take umbrage with it, and I got pissed. And I'm going to speak my mind, and I think Sticky and I were talking about it. I understand the point that you can be positive about another game, and those games really are big games. They're bigger games than Halo Wars 2, granted, but it's just a matter of for me, it's just you got to take care of your home before you take care of everyone else.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they dropped the Game Pass news, didn't they? After the Horizon reviews, was that after?
Yeah, it was after.
They talked about that for like one day.
And it was big.
That's massive news.
But I mean, like, they didn't talk about that a lot as well.
Well, Phil retweeted Bella Rise's review of the game and didn't even comment or anything. Just a retweet. Like, you think
that's still pretty good.
I
got a retweet from Phil.
It is pretty good.
I got a few tweets back from him, but a retweet's still pretty good.
Yeah. But it was a pretty good review, and it was a glowing review of the game, and she got a retweet, but it's pretty cool, yeah.
Well, he's not going to retweet like a bad review, is he?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Phil actually reads the reviews, and Phil actually knows the community. He knows, he knows all of us. He knows you guys. He's very, very aware of all of us, and even Bella. Like, he knows who Bella is. He reads her things, and that's the great thing about Phil is he's just like one of us, but he's like a passionate one of us. Like he'll listen to this podcast, and
man, I better stop swearing.
He might give you a call.
he's just with the swearing part. He doesn't he's like I had a talk with him once about it. He just doesn't like it on his Twitter account because of the kids situation, and he's very by the book. And I used to really be. I don't know if Mega ever saw when I was really bad, but I used to curse a lot. But I told Phil that out of respect for him, we talked actually about it. I said I'll calm it down for you. So
I do remember that. I do remember that. Yeah.
But that's a good segue for one of the questions we're going to ask Tim Dog, and that's how did you become friends with like Phil and Mike and that, and start playing games and stuff with them?
All right. Well, this is a pretty funny story. I was actually blocked by Phil. Okay. Yeah, I was blocked by Phil. When I first came onto Twitter, I was an absolute maniac. I mean, when
you're not now.
No, you guys have no idea.
Down now.
I've toned it down a lot. Like when I came on, I used to just really go hardcore fanboy. Fighting with a lot of it was NeoGAF, and a lot of it was just I didn't really think that I didn't give a fuck. Like basically, I would just tell somebody to go fuck themselves and leave it at that. Like who's this person? I don't have to kiss their ass. So I came onto Twitter. I was very I was a lot. Like I was a lot to handle, but people actually started taking a liking to me. A lot of times I go on Twitter and I joke around a lot, as you know, and I kind of like try to make it a fun time. So I actually I freaked out about 720p Call of Duty.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And that's when they kind of started noticing me, even though that I freaked out. Like and it turns out that I found out that a lot of the guys were reading my Twitter. I found that out at E3 in 2015. But like they all pretty much read my Twitter, and they actually told Phil, like Phil, you gotta unblock this guy. This guy is, he's not that bad. He's not, this and that. And Phil,
I'd love to say that conversation in the office.
Yeah, no, it was actually Albert Pinello. I think was really a driving force for a proponent of me. Obviously, Aaron Greenberg. Me and him from day one have been totally. We just kind of match up. Like I talk to him a lot in DMs, or I used to. I mean, whatever it would be. But Aaron is really the community guy that brought this all together. And if there is one guy that I really would point to for the way the Xbox communicates with the the community is Aaron is the key. Aaron is the guy that opened that up. But to tell the story, basically they told him to unfollow me. Unblock me. And then I unblocked him, and he unblocked me, and then I was always cool to him, and I didn't put pressure on it. Like I didn't say like, I didn't ask him to follow me or anything. I just did what I do, and I think he started reading my Twitter. Obviously he did, and then one day he followed me, and then, I just the constant talking about Xbox and even with the whole community. Like I said, like when I say Phil reads all of our stuff, he really does, and your Barrett too, and they're just like us. They're passionate fans like us, and that's how it happened. Basically, it was just basically them reading my Twitter, me reading their Twitters, or retweeting the stories that they say, or asking questions. And it didn't really start with just me. It's just that that's the way they are. They're just very passionate, and they're gamers like us. And basically, we met in 2015, and then at E3, and that was when I had the conversation about maybe toning it down a little, and the guys at Xbox was saying that, we, this and that, but Phil doesn't like to curse. Even though Phil was always cool with me, he never told me not to curse or anything. But I knew that like it was like maybe not be too much. And then I still I kept talking to Phil and and talking to all the guys, and basically at this point it's just like normal people. Like I don't look like I played with Phil the other day on Halo Wars 2, and we didn't talk anything that like when I play with Phil, it's kind of his downtime. Like he doesn't want to be pressured about Scorpio. He doesn't want to be talking about like things.
Even that's fair enough.
And I know that.
A lot of people who get on Xbox don't want to talk about work.
Are they competitive as gamers? Like, are they pretty competitive, or are they just sort of laid back?
Yeah. Oh no, he's mad at me because I screwed the hold the line thing. He was mad because we lost at 29 minutes. But yeah, no, Phil's very competitive in the game. With the gaming, and they're real gamers, man. Like I said, all of them top down, like they're real gamers, and pretty much that's it. Just talking to Phil, but like I said, it's not really just me. It's just Phil really knows everyone. Like he knows Bella, he knows you guys, he knows.
Oh, shit.
he does though. Like he
cool.
knows. He's very. I have to give it to him.
You see it a lot in his interviews when they talk to him, and he's like, "Yeah, we know. I hear what the fans are saying." He's always saying that. It's like I know what they're saying. I know what they said about Halo. I know what they're saying about this. I know. I hear it all.
Yeah, he reads everything.
Do they have PlayStation? Do you know? Do they play PlayStation?
Yeah, they tweet about it.
Yeah, they tweet about it.
Oh, well, that's true. Yeah, where was I?
Too busy playing Zelda.
Yeah.
Well, they're all on the Zelda deal. But overall though, like I said, it's that's the great thing about Xbox is that one of the things that they recommended about it, they really are one of us. And like I said, when I play with Phil, or if I play one of these guys, it's not really.
Yeah.
I wouldn't talk to them. I don't ask them. I understand that this is their time to kind of just game.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. Like like if I play Phil, he'll start yelling at me, "Hey man, well, go back to the base," or do you got the base? And that's why I think he's mad at me because I didn't have aerial turrets or something up. We literally hold the line with like 30 seconds left, and when we lost, he talked about Phil. Are they competitive? He was like literally like this. He was like, "All right, that's enough." It's like,
I'm going.
Rage
he left.
I just rage quit.
Rage quit,
boys.
Yeah, rage quit.
Rage quits, just like all of us.
That's it. Tweet it out.
That's cool. Hey, so what did Max? You had a question, I think, for Tim Dog. We're sort of doing a little mini interview here. If you haven't noticed,
Sure.
Sort of nice and casual.
Yeah, I'll ask a question. Okay, Tim, why did you choose Xbox as your main console, and what made it more appealing than, say, competing platforms back in the day when you first started?
Okay, so when I started with Atari 2600 in 1984. Yep. I was then a Sega fanboy, big Sega Genesis guy, never Nintendo. There wasn't this whole console war thing. I used to go to my cousins, and he was a Nintendo guy, and he would come over my house. I was a Sega guy, and kind of that's the way we would experience each other's consoles. But I was always a Sega guy, 100%. Like I didn't even have I had a Nintendo 64 for maybe a week or whatever, or like I borrowed it from my cousin John. But always a Sega guy. Then I kind of transitioned to 3DO. I don't know if you guys remember that console.
Yeah, Panasonic. Yeah, Panasonic. Yeah,
I remember that one. Huge Chip Hawkins fan. And at that time I was a big fan. So I always had that. There was always a part of me that wanted to that was a fan of or was a fanboy of something, or to want it to be behind something. So the story with Microsoft was I'm never a Sony guy at all. Never. I never tried. I remember even the Sony PlayStation when it came out, I didn't like it. Like I kind of always.
I was the same way.
Yeah.
I was never a Sony guy, not once.
You know, and,
I was Nintendo back then.
Yeah, I was Nintendo.
You know, I still would buy the console, but I wouldn't. I bought a PS3, but I don't really play it that much, or you know, I really wasn't into it. I got it for maybe the baseball, but so to answer the question, I was going to school and for trade school to to get kind of certificates and stuff like that, just in whatever hardware or Microsoft. And all the teachers hated Microsoft, even though they were teaching it. They were teaching, Microsoft, courses and stuff, but they hated it. And I kind of didn't like that. I kind of was like, I like this company. I like what they've brought. I don't see your side of the thing. So I've always been really a Microsoft guy. And when I heard that and this is like, we're talking about even before, like I was a Microsoft guy in 99, or you know what I mean, before
when everyone hated Microsoft.
Exactly. I was always
Windows 98 days.
Yeah,
exactly. Obviously they weren't perfect, but I was always the guy. I remember being in school and being like, what the fuck is it? Why do these guys are they just hate Microsoft? And the professors and people teaching the class, they're teaching Windows, and they're teaching, what I think it was Windows Server at the time, and they're just like, they teach it, and then whatever. But I was always a fan of Microsoft. So when I heard they were going to get a console, I was like, oh, day one. And I actually got the Xbox a week later because of it was money situation. I had to wait for a paycheck, and that was it. I got it, and I would say the OG Xbox. I was really active. Obviously, I was younger, had a lot more time. Didn't have as many things that I have to do now. I mean, I still am active now, but like. I was really active. I own 150 games of Xbox, OG Xbox, and I actually love the OG Xbox. Like that was it.
Good. Ripping CDs and then listening to them while you played like Amped or something.
Yeah.
That's
so
crazy.
Good.
Yeah.
And I bet it was a beta tester, and so I've been there since day one. And during the 360 time, I was always a big fan. I was always in the forums. I was always in System Wars in 2007, and that's kind of where I started combating a lot of the other fanboys, and that's where the story of me basically kind of started up as far as socially, and the 360 years. I was always into them, but I didn't play. As like at that time, I was running a football team, I was playing, so that was kind of like my passion. But I really got back, and like I said, I was always Xbox, but I really started getting back when the Xbox One was announced, and again, I saw this abundance of hate and lies with bullshit that went on with NeoGAF, and that's what brought me to Twitter, and to combat that, and kind of always been there, always been a fan of Xbox, always been a fan of Microsoft, and always been like a guy that never understood the hate that it got, and kind of somebody that would go at other people who push that hate. Like I'm always the first guy, if I see that, to be like, well, screw you. What about you? What about why are you doing that? And that's basically how my whole transgression. The whole entire how it transpired, the whole story, and here we are. Now we're doing a podcast. I'm 3 for 3.
3 in a row.
At 7 o'clock in the morning.
3 in the same day if you're Australian.
I'll listen to them all
in one day.
I've been listening. What about you, Mega? You got a question, or you? I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah, that's all right. No, it's more like game related, or that kind of thing. I just want to know what Tim's. I probably never asked him actually. What his favorite, favorite all time. Doesn't know what Xbox it was on, all-time game, and favorite or hardest achievement you ever got.
Wow. Well, my favorite
if you
all-time.
Remember.
No. Well, I'm not really a big achievement guy. Like, to be honest, like I'm a guy that like plays games old school. I play it once. I don't fucking scrounge around for all the collectibles. I just play it, finish it, and that's it. I'm done with it. But my favorite all-time game is and that's to answer the achievement, the Ori, the Ori one where you go up and you get past the where you're going up. You know, when you're going up, I think it's the where you go up.
It's that waterfall part. It's the waterfall part.
It's the water raises part. Yeah, when the water rises up. Game. Dude, I died on that about 500 times, dude. I was so determined to get past that. But that was my hardest achievement by far. But I remember being like where I was in tears, like almost in tears, like ready to punch through the thing. But I said, you know what? I am passing this, and I am going to conquer it. But for my all-time game, it's and I always hold to it, is Halo 2. I remember Halo 2, I believe, was delayed. I remember at the time was, magazines. It wasn't, you wouldn't buy it. You wouldn't go on the internet.
The old magazine days.
Yeah. That was my, I was back in those days.
I would go to the news agents and you're like, which magazine do I want? Do I want this magazine, or I want this one, or do I want a couple? Yeah. Or you just sit there and kind of read. You kind of skim through them to see what kind of news they had in them.
The one that had the favorite cover of your game on the front. That's the one I'd buy.
Exactly. and I was obsessed with any kind of new info with Halo 2. So I remember even the build up for that game. And when I played it,
massive.
When I played it, it delivered in a really big way. Now Halo 3. I think is very close to it and one of my favorite games too. But Halo 2 is my favorite game of all time, pretty much.
Yeah,
nothing's beat it.
What's everyone else's favorite game? I'll say Halo 3 for me.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, I had a lot on the N60. I was a big N64 guy.
Yeah, so was I.
I mean, I was big on soccer games back when I was younger. So like ISS 64.
That game was great.
Yeah, like for a soccer game, like that was, to me, that was like, and still to this day, I still like the Pro Evo sort of soccer games over the FIFA ones. But
the FIFA ones, yeah.
Yeah, so I prefer that was probably one of the Mortal Kombat series, like Mortal Kombat 2, 3.
Mortal Kombat 2 on the SNES.
Yeah, I mean, go back to that far,
That was Mortal Kombat 2 was huge. Like,
to
be honest, that was an arcade game, and it was one of my favorite. It was one of my favorite games too. Like, it's weird that you say that, but Mortal Kombat is for sure one of my top games. Especially when it was I remember playing it in the arcade and being like, "What the hell? This is."
It was insane back in the day. And it wasn't so easy to find out the fatalities either. When you met someone, it's like, I know what the fatalities are. You're like, well, what are they? It's like you jump on. Fatalities. It wasn't like a quick Google search or what are the fatalities? Oh, this. It was like if someone knew more back in the day, you were like, oh, this guy's hardcore. He knows everything.
It's good to have a magazine.
I mean, I used to just solely go down to the arcade just to watch guys play. I wouldn't play it myself, just to watch guys play Mortal Kombat.
Where I lived, there's a lot of Asians, and they were fucking so good at video games back in the day. Like, I don't know why.
Well, they got the Asian culture is a very arcade culture. So, they're still big in places like Japan and stuff like that, China and stuff like that.
Kick your ass,
they do, man. They do. They're very good gamers. I think a lot of the games originate from Japan and China and all those sort of areas.
Yeah. Korea, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Korea is massive into games. Started like StarCraft, like League of Legends and Dota, like crazy into it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, the Koreans as well. They love it.
Yeah.
Huge.
Oh yeah.
They're the old school hardcore.
Yeah.
Now, well, like StarCraft was like a national sport over there and stuff. It's like, and their internet's like the best in the world, so
yeah.
Oh, doesn't sound like too bad of a place to live. A place that loves video games and has the best internet. Sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, did we get around there? We're going to ask Smiley asked what your favorite game was.
Yeah, we got all through the question. What about?
I think we went through everyone.
Doug, you got any questions? I reckon the one about
he's already got one loaded up. Like
the digital ones, the digital and
what is Doug?
Game sales would be good.
Can we explain Doug? Like,
well, he's just a digital dog, man.
I love it.
That's it.
He wants to announce the top 5 games for Australia. That's loaded up, ready to go.
All right.
We'll quickly do that, and then we'll get on to you. All right, here we go.
Here's the top 5 selling games across all platforms in Australia for February 2017. Taking out first places: For Honor. Second, Halo Wars 2. Third, Sniper Elite 4. Fourth place, GTA 5. And coming in 5th, Call of Duty, Infinite Warfare.
There you go. Halo Wars took out second place. It's fucking pretty good.
That's pretty big.
That is pretty good.
Pretty big.
And actually, New Zealand, it took out 4th place. So that's a bit strange. They're obviously not that too smart over there. But I didn't say that.
I'm just thinking about, like, For Honor was number 1, but
it's number 1.
I don't hear a lot about. Well, it was number 1 for February, but I don't hear a lot about that game
as well
these days. Like, I don't see a lot of people playing it on Twitch anymore. I just don't hear a lot about it anymore.
I bought it. Yeah, it really is. It's a very tough game. It's very you gotta be, you gotta play it, and you gotta play it strategically with friends, and it's not an easy game.
No, that's not a good thing. Kids, this new generation of gamers that like started out on like the 360 and stuff, they call it the Call of Duty kids. I like to call them. They just don't like playing. They don't like playing tough games. They're not willing to put the time in. It's a problem with that's why Halo's population's down. Gears' population's down because you can't just pick up and be good at those games or get kills. Like, you have to practice.
It takes time.
And they all grew up on Call of Duty where you just jump in, shoot, get some kills. It's easy, but like if you pick up something like Halo or Gears and jump straight in, you're gonna get smacked around. Like, you'd be lucky to even get a kill.
Yeah.
And like they don't have the patience these days to like really put the time in to get better at games.
True, yeah.
Is For Honor peer-to-peer? Or is that dedicated servers?
Peer-to-peer.
Oh, really?
Has that been having connection problems?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's no good.
Well, like I said, there really is not a lot of people talking about it. I mean, it did get a little bit of hype in the beginning. Obviously, at launch, you're going to get some.
That heaps of betas.
It's number 1. Yeah. Number 1 in New Zealand as well. I don't know about UK. But yeah, it's number 1 game. Now, I'm pretty sure it's number 1.
Now you're on to Ghost Recon, and like I said, I don't know the longevity of For Honor. I mean, I bought it, but I got to play it. But I'm kind of a little nervous about how I really hear it's a tough game. Like, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're gonna get destroyed.
And you got to, from what I've been told, you got to put the time into it. And they're trying to get you to pay for upgrades and all this sort of stuff. So
we'll see how Ubisoft supported. They supported Rainbow Six pretty good.
They do really support the game.
And they supported Division, but Division's lost too many players.
Back,
I reckon.
Man. Division's back.
Yeah, Division's come back a little.
No.
But yeah, they do support it. I think they will support it. But
yeah, they need to support Wildlands. There's a few issues like, people. I've seen videos of like AI walking straight past each other, enemy.
Yeah, I don't know. Did any of us get Wildlands?
I've got it, man, because I game share. I digital share my games with a dude, and he bought it. So I was thinking about buying it, man, but then we had the podcast.
But I don't know.
Jumped off.
Yeah, I haven't grabbed it yet.
It looks
like you can play Mass Effect next week, so it's like I'll probably play it for like a week, and that'll be it.
Yeah, that's on EA Access.
So
that's
kind
of like where I'm at too. Like, the Mass Effect is really hurting Ghost Recon. And listen, I'm gonna get Ghost Recon. It's just that right now, I could pretty much only afford one game, or you know, or I kind of I want to try to be. I'm going to get Ghost Recon on a sale, but right now, if to pick and choose, I'm going to do the Mass Effect.
Oh, it has to be Mass Effect.
Yeah, Mass Effect.
Ghost Recon's going to get multiplayer too, so it'd be worth even waiting for that. I reckon maybe.
I can't wait to see Mass Effect sales. I reckon they're going to be massive. Absolutely
massive.
Think so.
Yeah, I think that's going to be massive too. I'm actually haven't played any of those Mass Effect games. Exposed again. Yeah.
Oh. What are you doing?
What have you played?
Man, get off the podcast and go play them.
I've always been into shooters, man. I've always been into Ghost Recon's, COD, and fucking all those games, man. Competitive multiplayer.
I'll be interested. I'll be interested to see how much the media
exposed.
How much the media still talks about Horizon and Zelda once Mass Effect drops.
I know somebody who's put. I mean, I know somebody who's put 6,000, 7,000 hours into World of Warcraft, and that's all they played. But that's a gamer still. You know, it just depends on.
People die playing that game.
Yeah. But you play what you like, and I played Mass Effect, but I mean, I played them all, but I never finished them. And the problem I have with Mass Effect, or even Mass Effect 2. Or even 3 is just like when I play those games, either it's gonna grab me like it did Skyrim, or a game where it's just gonna be massive. But I do get intimidated when I played Mass Effect. Like there's so much to it. Like there's
the Witcher effect.
Yeah,
that's true.
And it's just like and Witcher 3. It's just like it becomes too much. It's like there's so much to do. There's so much to grasp, and then I say, "Fuck it! I'm just gonna put on Forza Horizon 3." That's what happens. You know what I mean? It's really an undertaking when you play those games.
And we're talking about this last week as well. And if you stop playing those games for like a week or two and go back, you're just like completely lost.
Yeah, you forget how to play it.
No idea what you're doing.
The story,
you gotta
the characters.
Be obsessed about it. Exactly. You have to be obsessed about it and be like, kind of like when you watch like like you binge watch Netflix, or you're watching Walking Dead or something. You got to be in it, and you got to be living it and loving it, and to know all the things. Because if you do, like if you play Forza Horizon 3 for a week and come back, you're like, what the fuck? And then you don't play it. But yeah. But I'm going to try to I want to finish Halo Wars 2, which I think I got like maybe I'm 80% done with the campaign. And then I'm going to maybe give Mass Effect 3 a full shot. Like I want to try to get into either that or Witcher 3 and kind of take on one of these games because, like I said, it's very, it's a lot. It's a lot to take. But when you do play those games, it's very gratifying.
Highly recommended.
It's great, but it's a lot to take on sometimes.
The Mass Effect trilogy and Witcher 3 totally drew me in. I couldn't put them down. They were just such fantastic games.
There's so much to do in The Witcher 3. It's ridiculous.
It's just the whole atmosphere
I can't wait
and the
for the
story.
Next game, Cyberpunk. I reckon that's going to be something really special. I hope they show it at E3.
So
that would be, especially if they put that on Microsoft stage, Cyberpunk 2077, first gameplay. I reckon I'll be like, whew. I reckon I get a lot of people excited.
That'll be huge.
Well, what just talk about something else. What game do you think is going to rival Mass Effect this year? I mean, as like game
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, I think that's probably
a lot of talk about that getting pushed back. A lot of people saying that.
Well, if it gets released this year, that's a huge game. If it gets pushed back, I wouldn't disappoint me at all. Because I know. Are you talking about
rivaling in sales or like just like hype?
Oh well, I mean, sales. I mean, it'll probably get beat by Call of Duty and those sort of games. But I mean, like, as in like Game of the Year sort of stuff.
Maybe Destiny 2 if that releases.
Yeah, you'll have Destiny 2 there, Red Dead, and Mass Effect, probably the big three. And then don't forget you've got your PlayStation games as well that are out now. But I can see Mass Effect probably being the one that's been hyped.
I think Mass Effect looks fantastic.
If it's good, we have to wait till we play it. If it's as good as we hope it is, then
just from what I've seen, I think it looks fantastic.
Yeah. Red Dead will give it a good run, that's for sure.
Yeah.
If that's out this year, that'll definitely give it a run.
Well, hopefully we see more at E3.
Yeah, I mean, I think that them being out this year is very unlikely. I think Destiny, if it's out this year, it's going to be.
Well, they put it in their earnings report for this year.
Yeah, no, they want to see. The thing is that Activision and them, they have this crazy deal, and if they don't have the game out, Destiny 2 by this year, I don't know if you guys heard it. They got to give up the shares of their company.
Yeah,
they're giving up their owning of the company, which I don't know how that's legal, but I mean, they are in that case. So no matter what, Destiny 2, I think might make it. It's just that if they release it, buyer beware. Like, know that this shit might be.
Destiny 1 already had problems with like lack of content and reskinning in the DLCs, and now this is meant to be getting rushed out. It's like, well, what are we going to get now? Because Destiny 1 was not even half of what you said it was going to be.
Exactly.
All right, got Doug's next question.
There's those crickets.
Yeah.
No, I'm just sitting back
love those
listening to my
crickets.
own podcast, man. I'm loving it. All right, let's yeah, we've got Dougie coming up. 1 sec.
Okay.
What do you think of Game Pass? Do you think Game Pass eventually will be to games what Netflix is to TV shows and movies? Do you see it growing? Will it be the way gamers play their games in the future?
Oh shit, man! I'm struggling a little bit. I've broken my ankle, so I'm not in my usual setup. So it's taken me a little while to get between things. But anyway,
that's all right. No, that was good. That was all right.
That was all right. So Dougie wants to know about Game Pass. Will it be like Netflix?
Oh, definitely.
And will we be playing a lot of it?
Well, I think Microsoft have tapped into how successful online streaming is with movies and stuff, and it's the next thing, isn't it? Games, well, not game streaming, but monthly access fees to play games. I think it's the perfect time to do it. That's for sure, and
especially for a casual.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you don't even need Xbox Live Gold to have it. So as long as you got an Xbox,
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Still got to download the games
and the quota to download them. Yeah.
The few key points on this is will they eventually be only Game Pass games? And because for someone like us who's more hardcore, I buy all the games day one. So something like Game Pass doesn't really interest me that much, but it's still something good for families.
Yeah.
And I imagine as soon as it's out to the public so everyone can use it, it's not just in preview, that there'll be a 1 month Game Pass in every Xbox box.
Well, I reckon 3 months, man. They need to do 3 months.
Yeah.
Maybe so it could be 3 months, yeah.
Fucking go hard or go home. Go 3 months and advertise it, man. Because EA Access, they don't advertise. They don't.
And it's great value.
They don't promote. How many people, casual people, do you know? I know people who bought PlayStation. I said to them, well, what about EA Access? What's EA Access? Okay, you get fucking all the sports games for $30 a fucking year. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah. And they're regretting their purchase because I've told them about that. So they don't promote EA Access. They need to promote this fucking Game Pass if it's going to work. They need to put games in there. And they need to give it away for free with every Xbox. That's what I think. And it's to answer Dougie's question about Netflix. I think Netflix took off because it doesn't have advertising. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's why people like Netflix. There's no ads. You can watch things when you want to watch it. So will it be as successful as Netflix? I don't know, but I think Microsoft have to do it properly. They can't fuck around with this.
Let's just hope we don't get screwed on games in the Game Pass like we do on Netflix in Australia, where we get a third or a quarter of what the Americans get on Netflix. Man. Yeah, so you have to do a whole VPN and everything so you can get the American Netflix because you got shit all to watch over here.
Well, that's a good point because it's in the small print. It's in the small print. Regional, may be restricted by region or whatever. So it is actually in the small print.
Right.
Sorry,
they've got to release good games for the servers.
Yeah, I think they're gonna do well with this. I don't know if it's gonna be as big as Netflix per se, but it's gonna do. Um, it's gonna do. I believe it's gonna do well. I think that it's a good idea for people, maybe not like us, but for people like moms and dads of kids and family and people who really don't have the money to buy all the games. And this gives them a ton of games. But to Sticky's point, I thought it was very interesting. I do think that it would be smart to maybe give away the first month, especially during the holiday. Maybe just like give somebody the freaking just the month of it. A free trial. Because that's the way you're going to get people using it and to
and show its worth.
Show its worth. So
you could advertise that as well. So if you advertise that in your ads, buy the Xbox, get 1 month of Game Pass for free.
Yeah, they need to
promote
it.
They need to promote it.
They need
100
to
games. 100 games for free.
They need to do that. And I understand what you're saying. Like, you're talking about like the advertising and stuff like that. The fact is that they need to be aggressive with it. They need to say what it is, and they need to push it. And they maybe need to give away a trial. But if they don't do that, they're going to do a disservice to it, because it looks like it's a good program, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they could trial it with everyone. Anyone who's got a gold membership right now, you get a free month. I
like that idea. I don't think that they'll do that because in the end they're a business and they're trying to get every dollar. But maybe if you buy my thing is like if you buy a console, maybe just give them a month, or
and a gold month. A gold membership.
They did that with
3 months of gold,
for a year. But it's hard. These subscriptions are kind of hard to market.
Well, even if you make people pay for it, so you get a free month, like a trial, but you put your credit card number in, how trials work. You got to put your credit card in, and you got to cancel it. They got to do something like that to get people in there, because people aren't that people generally are easily confused and. Oh, what is it? I don't know what it is. Like, man, I've sold Xboxes to family members and shit, and I've set the Xbox up, and they ring me up, and they're like, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? I'm like, God, fuck, it's not that hard, but shout out if you're listening. But, yeah, I just think they got to make it easy. They got to, I don't know. People just, the hardcore, it's not for the hardcore. So if it's for the casual, it's got to be easy. That's what I think, anyway.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it does.
It's got to be
accessible,
simple. Yeah,
but they should include it. Like, to me, Microsoft, they're not the top selling console and everything. Why not include it in the gold membership? Maybe bump it up $5 and say, okay, whatever. We're gonna include this in your gold membership now. This is something they could really. I know it's been a long time in the pipeline, like 3 years, but something they could really take over with if they do it right. It could put them in. It could put them in front. So
if they continually expand it and improve upon it with more games and more features as the years go by, it could be anything really.
Yeah, it needs games definitely, and if developers are going to put their games in there because they're getting paid. Because that's in the end of the day, if they're making more money out of pass than they are selling individual copies, they're going to be happy.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if this is I was going to say, sorry, I wouldn't be surprised if this is like the mainstay on how things will be in the future. Like there won't be games to buy.
Very well could be,
a subscription, and you can download. Like you pay $100 a month, and you can just download whatever games you want.
Yeah,
like brand new releases.
Cool. Have like tiers,
Yeah, like
AAA tier or
yeah,
premium. Yep.
It's just really tip of the iceberg stuff, and I think other companies, other platforms will follow. I mean, probably Sony will do it, Nintendo will do it. So
I think they'll be forced to if it's attractive for people to use it. And they get on board. Yeah.
Well, Sony have done it, but like similar, haven't they? But it's not downloadable games, which is good for Australia because we can't stream. Not everyone can stream in Australia, so it's good that we can download the games. And it wouldn't be only Australia; it would be other countries as well that wouldn't have the internet, like the States.
No, that's right.
UK.
It's many countries.
A lot of countries out there so we can download the games and play them, and Yeah, it's a good thing.
That's
It's
a
It needs to be done right.
Yeah.
Being able to download the game is one thing that's such an advantage to it because
It is.
You know, it's on your hard drive. There's no you know, plenty of people have spoke about it. No lag, no latency, nothing like that.
You're not going to stream multiplayer games.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it just doesn't work.
I just shouted out. I just said hello to Sirius in the chat twice. I meant to shout out to Graphic God. He's in the chat. He always tries to make it. So shout out to Graphic God and Supersonic. And we've got Cop in there as well. Sirius, Jesse is here. So shout out to everyone in the chat. Thanks for coming along. We've got the regulars here. So Dougie's next. Oh, sorry. Is everyone finished for that one? Or sorry, Tim Dog?
Yeah, I think it's all good.
Right. There was another one about the same sort of subject. So just quickly.
Let's do the digital sales one.
Could Xbox improve their silver and gold membership structure to work better with Pass? Or should they just leave it the way it is?
Yeah, sorry, Smiley. He's already ready to go, man. So we probably already covered that. But he's basically saying, should they change the way gold's done? Now with Pass, should they look at changing that maybe? I don't know.
I was always like gold to be cheaper.
Yeah, that's always a good thing. Yeah.
But yeah,
Dougie's a bit he gets tunnel vision sometimes. So which one are you talking about anyway, Smiley? Digital? What?
Yeah, the one where you talked about digital and physical sales.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh, digital sales improved this year over physical.
We might isolate our guest here a bit, but anyway, go.
In Australia, the retail gaming market is booming, with a big shift towards digital purchases. Why do you think Australians are moving to video games and digital downloads? Is there a link? Has the ability to buy games digitally made it easier to buy games? So people are buying more.
Yeah, so basically Australians are buying more digital and less physical, and the industry itself has increased. So I'm just Dougie's sort of saying, is there a link between the ease of purchase to the rise of video games? You know, it's so much easier to buy a game now to sit in the lounge room.
I think a big factor for the rise in digital, there's a few factors. Like game sharing's big because I game share with someone, and a lot of people, like nearly everyone I game with, game shares with someone. So that's good. And the fact that you can I reckon the massive step was like pre-download. So because a lot of Australians don't have good internet, so it's still if you have a 50 gig game, it still takes you a couple of days to download that. So being able to pre-download, and then as soon as it hits 12 o'clock, just being able to play straight away.
Yeah, fuck yeah, that's
I think it's so good. Not having to go to the store or go to the store the next day, or
you should be able to
deal with the game, EB Games or whatever. Just pre-downloading is so good.
Download games, but even if you're buying the disc, but you can't play it till you put the disc in, because it is unfair for those people. You know,
especially with day one patches.
Yeah, I think that was the Xbox original plan, was it? You installed the disc and that was it. Well, they might have been able to do it back then, but no, you can do it these days. Maybe if you buy digital codes, but then you can just buy it off Xbox. So I don't know about that one.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I think it's just a natural progression of where we're all going. 2013 DRM was presented, but it was way too early and people weren't ready. But 4 years later, people are increasingly going digital, and that trend is gonna trend upward. I mean, in another 4 years, I'd say that we're at a 40% mark.
Yeah,
and in 10 years, we're going to be at a 65% mark. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, digital is the future. We've always said that it truly is. And they're going to make it more and more incentive. You look at Play Anywhere. You look at game sharing. You look at ways to beat the system per se or get more out of the system versus, buying a game physically and that's it. So, I think digitally, it's starting, and I think that in the next 10 years, you're going to see the majority of people going digital, especially with the infrastructure. I mean, I don't know how you guys are as far as your infrastructure is for internet, but
it's pretty shit.
We've seen your speeds, Tim, and
we're envious.
Pride ourselves to sleep over it, but
No, but that's a big part of it. I mean, the infrastructure has to, support it, and I think in 10 years, I mean, I think in 5 years' time,
this cricket's gone
even
off.
where you're at, the infrastructure might be in a lot better shape because you got to be able to get people speed. You gotta get and obviously your ISPs and people around the people that your government and all around people are all building towards that digital world.
Well, I reckon that's
so much more convenient.
I reckon that's a big thing, like with Crackdown, like Crackdown 3 in the servers, like the worry. Like I've got a bit better internet now than what I had, but I used to only get like 4 to 5 down, like 1 up.
Yeah.
So you look at these, like a game like Crackdown that's like running on the servers, and you're like, well, am I even going to play it to its full potential? Because like my internet's so bad. So stuff like that does really worry me about a game like that. But if we go back to digital downloads, I think that it's like the ease of use is definitely like a major factor to being able to jump between games, the game's auto like update and stuff like that, because you always hear these horror stories of people chucking in their game disc after not playing, and it's like you got this huge download, and then they're like, well, I'm not playing that tonight.
But you look at something like Halo. Yeah. Look at something like Halo 5. That's what 97 gigs worth. That doesn't even fit on a disc. So you still need to download half the game.
Yeah,
it's true.
So what's the point of the disc, in my opinion? I mean, this is the first generation where I've gone totally digital. And I've got 2 Xboxes, so I actually game share with myself.
Not having a pile of games. Like some people collect, so I understand that, but not having some massive pile of games.
It
doesn't take up room.
Yeah.
Fox
not having this pile of games you have to cart around with you all the time if you move, or it's like they get lost and you're like, where's my game?
Or get up to change the discs. I mean, that's just a tragedy.
Who wants to do that?
Man, I haven't done that for so long. I think there could be a disc in my Xbox right now. I don't even know. If I go out and press eject, something might come out. I don't know.
Changing discs are first world problems.
Yeah, that's right.
Man, the kids don't reckon either. Like the kids get hold of those discs, they're gone. So
well, Fox does have a good point in the chat that physical games do go on sale. Like you can get them on sale easier. Than
they are cheaper.
Definitely.
Digital,
they do. But for sure.
But I have my nephew come over and play my Xbox all the time, and he just plays all the digital games. Like I don't have to worry about him, destroying the disc, or leaving them out, or So
the old scratch disc. Oh, back in the day.
No, never.
And your disc was scratched and it wouldn't play anymore, and you're like, oh, it's terrible.
I'll just take my 5 terabyte drive, everything on there.
Well, that's another factor, like the affordability of like storage devices. They're so cheap nowadays, and they're so small.
Yeah.
And like you don't need power for them; they just run straight for the USB. So it's like it's so easy now.
We're getting called lazy in the chat from Foxfire.
That's all right. I'll cop that.
We are Australian.
We are
pretty lazy.
At least with physical, you can trade them in, can't you? You can still get some money back for physical.
Yeah, $5.
There was
You're lucky.
There was talk. What was the talk of trading in digital games? That was like 12 months ago? What was the go there?
That'd be cool. You get a discount or something.
Remember
$10 discount. Everyone was everyone was freaking out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like $10.
What are you talking about? $10, and I'm like, well, it's versus nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that it's possible that we might see that, but don't expect the prices to be high. And to be honest, I'm not for $10, even for $20. I don't think I would return any of these games. because what I like about what I have is I have an ecosystem of games that I can play anytime, anywhere, really, or I mean, pretty much any time though. I mean, some of them anywhere, but I mean, I have over 365 games or something, so I like the ability to, if I have my Xbox One, to be able to play any one of those games whenever I want. So I kind of like the forever. So I wouldn't
going into your
do
library and looking at all those games, definitely you get a good feeling about it when you're like, look at all these games I have. I might not play them that much, but I've got them all there.
Yeah, I like to look
at it's like a way. It's almost like a way of collecting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a way of collecting in a way. I find it. I like one of the reasons why I buy the game is just like, like I just like the availability to always have a game that I can always play. If even if I want to go back and play Batman, Arkham Asylum, or whatever. To me, it's the collection, and that means a lot to me. I like to like all my games are downloaded and updated, every one of them. Like, so for me, I wouldn't sell it, but if you do $10, I think that's fair. I think if you do $10 versus nothing, that's
better than nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I do think it's a possibility in the future. The way Microsoft is gearing their stuff, I think that we might get that.
Yeah, that's true. And I like the way Stick talks about it a lot as well. Sticky, the way Microsoft is going as well. Like, you can take those games to the next console. You can take them to the next console after that. You can take them to PC.
Right.
They're always going to be there. So it's just a slightly different topic. But Sticky talks about it all the time. It's such a good feature now, and the way Microsoft is going, I love the way they're doing that. So I've sort of gone away from physical myself. This is the first time I've ever done it too. Gone now to digital because I know that those games are going to be sitting there regardless of what platform I buy. So.
And sometimes, like with the Xbox Play Anywhere, you get 2 games and one's for free. So the digital, they're going to make digital more and more sweet spot.
More and more appealing.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty cool digital. I like it, and I think even the casual market, I think, like it too, because they sit in the lounge room. Oh, what am I going to? They got used to Netflix and shit. What am I going to watch tonight? I might buy this game. Fuck it. How much is it? Yeah. Press a button. It downloads to their Xbox. It's done. They're not going to GameStop. I mean, I reckon a lot of casuals wouldn't even walk into EB Games or that. They'd be embarrassed. They'd be embarrassed too, like, oh, I'm a gamer. Like,
that's the inevitability is that GameStop and EB Games or those places are in trouble. That's why their stock is down. The stock went down 10% due to the Game Pass announcement.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as Microsoft can just ship out your Xbox straight to your day one, there won't even be a need for those stores anymore, unless you want to buy like swag or something.
I think that they got to readjust.
Target.
They're basically possibly Blockbuster waiting to happen. I don't know if you guys remember Blockbuster.
Blockbuster. I saw a photo the other day. It was a picture of Blockbuster, and it was like, kids these days will never know the feeling of going to a Blockbuster on a Friday night.
I've got one in my local town, Warragul. They've got a Blockbuster. Well, not a Blockbuster, but a video store where you go in there and hire videos. Can you believe that? It's like,
I've still got one down the road from me, and I'm like 10 minutes from Sydney.
Oh, okay. They're around still.
They are still around.
People are still hiring DVDs and shit.
They're endangered species.
Yeah. Hey, I did that the other week. I hired a couple.
We're a bit behind the times.
Yeah.
We don't have many.
Sorry,
I hardly see it anywhere.
That's all right, man. No, it's all right.
Mega still hires video. He's got the VCR going.
And the
CRT. I play my Xbox on the CRTV. Got a converter. Got the HDMI to AV converter.
All right. Well, Dougie's humping my leg again, as he does. So 1 sec.
Xbox predict the S will be their best-selling console even after Scorpio. However, some media and gamers' expectations on what Scorpio needs to achieve seem higher than the Xbox team. Why do you think they are conflicting? Are the Xbox team just lowballing?
There you go. So yeah, Phil came out recently and said he expects the S to dominate sales in that family. In those sort of, not in those words, but yeah, basically. So, which I sort of always thought would be the case because a majority of
crickets.
people.
Us crickets.
They're getting louder, man. I think they actually got their own.
I think they're in your house.
Oh, it's funny.
Oh, I can see the Xbox. I can see the Xbox S being there. Like I sell.
It will be.
Yeah, I sell TVs every single day, and there's a certain range that's like your bread and butter, right? And then you've got your high range that people will come and buy, but you always sell that middle of the range stuff all the time, and that's where they make their money. So I think it's a similar thing with this. It's Xbox S is going to be the bread and butter, and then you're going to have guys will eventually slowly adapt to the Scorpio, but the Scorpio will
could
have a slow trend,
go lower. Yeah.
Well, Phil keeps calling it a premium product, so I reckon he's setting it up. We'll use American prices, so Tim Dog feels more safe, but I reckon it'll be 500 American. I reckon he's setting it up to be 500 at the lowest 450, but definitely. So that will be 500 American over here. We're looking at, well, we paid 600, I think, for the Xbox when it first came out. Maybe 600 or 650 we'll pay.
I don't think it'll be more than 650 here. At the absolute most, and if possible, probably even below 600. They've got to get some type of market share. If
it's 500 in America, it won't be below 600 here. Like the Switch was $250 American, and they were charging $470 here.
Oh, that's way overpriced here.
So
completely.
Yeah.
Do you reckon it'll do better than the Pro? But because did the Pro do any good? I don't know. I don't really follow Sony, but.
Well, they don't split their numbers between the Pro and the PS4.
It did come out in an MPD that like when they sold like 1.3 million, like 250,000 of that was the Pro. So I think you'll see around those numbers, maybe a bit better because the Scorpios, should be a way better system.
I mean, will it do better than Pro? But because like there's a lot more people buying PlayStations who have got PlayStation, and their games go with you. So your games go with you to Pro. So.
I think it's like Phil said as well. What are you offering them to get the Scorpio over just the normal, regular Xbox One S? Are the games updated straight out of the gate? Like on launch day? Do all your games play better?
Mm-hmm. Well, they should. They did on the
If they do, then you're selling them something straight away. But on the Pro, it wasn't really like that.
They're not going to come out. Well, they did the Beast mode, so I don't think you're going to see Microsoft coming out 3 months later and saying, "Oh, by the way, we can also play your old games better."
Microsoft's going to do that. I mean, they got praised for that, but that should have been their day one. I mean, that'll be their day one for Xbox.
They should have called it Pro mode. It basically was the Pro. I mean, that was it. That's the console. That's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah,
it's like we've actually finally given you what, and you can fucking have USB hard drives as well, because we need it.
That's a new feature.
We need you to now because the updates are so big.
Yeah.
So, what percentage do you reckon they're looking at? What, a quarter? Once it comes out, a quarter or a half of all new Xbox sales of Scorpio? What do you think they're really kind of hoping for?
I think if they came anywhere near 50% of the sales, I think they'd be very, very happy.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it'll be anywhere near that, really.
15, man.
I think they won 30%. The original. If they'd sign up for 30% right now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
As time goes on.
Oh, sorry. What worries me is like the medias are going to sort of jump on them when they don't sell. I'm doing that again in my mega. Like everyone's going to jump on them when they don't get heaps of sales, like more than they did on the Pro. Like that's what worries me. I think Xbox have talked it down from the start. It's for the hardcore.
Yeah.
They've said it again now, like recently in an interview. Phil said it's for the hardcore. We don't expect it to. We expect the S to be the big seller, and everyone is going to jump on it, man, when it doesn't fucking light the world on fire because it's too expensive or whatever.
It's Phil's baby, isn't it? It's like
it is.
You can just see that it's like what he once he heard all the articles about how the Xbox isn't powerful enough, he was like, all right, let's do this. Let's make a powerful box. So I think they're all excited about it. So all the Xbox fans do. Like all the Xbox fans say, we'll see what happens at E3, or if they do an event beforehand.
Yeah,
you don't have every Xbox guy. Just wait till E3. Wait to E3. Come on, E3. So
massive shout out to the chat.
that was out of nowhere.
Fucking Dougie.
Well, I think E3.
We've got Fox in there. We've got everyone in there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fox is in there. Yeah, I was going to say E3. I'm expecting some. I'm expecting E3 to be pretty exciting for us, man. I'm telling you that now. What do you think, Tim? Have you heard? You mix with the execs a bit more than us. Have you heard anything? Any little inkling of information?
All I've heard is that they got a good plan. They're planning right now, and they keep that stuff really close to the vest, and it's going to be a big deal. I think Scorpio is going to do well. I think Scorpio's going to make a flip out a lot of people. We talk about power, and when Scorpio was announced, obviously we saw the shift in the narrative. It's clear as day, and now people are emphasizing games, whereas in 2013 you couldn't even mention a game and you were laughed at. You were like, well, what resolution is going to be in 720p? That's the way it literally was like that. And now you're seeing hey, we're just about the games, guys. Who cares about I love checkerboarding.
Last year they went.
And he's better.
But I think with Scorpio, and I think they're going to show this at E3 and they're going to convey it, is that it's marketably stronger than Pro. Not only does it have more teraflops for number crunching, but it also has the bandwidth 320. And it also has, they haven't announced it, but the RAM is 12. So not only
we're all just waiting on the CPU.
Yeah, we're all just waiting on the CPU.
What type?
But they're being
so tight-lipped about that.
Well, I don't think it's anything that too big because it's a refresh. But it's possible it could be Zen. But I think it's gonna be type of variant, a little more powerful than the Pro. But being that it's a refresh, you got to realize that they have to have all their games run on Xbox One. So it's not like paramount nature that it's Zen and stuff like that. But the biggest thing with all this is the powers is that you're probably going to get resolution, you're going to get effects, and you're going to get textures and assets. So your games in 4K are going to be melting in your face.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody can match that on the market. So like you guys said, the big thing is price. I hope they don't price themselves out. Now that Phil keeps talking premium, everyone's like $499, but if it's $499, I do think that they will have a new CPU, but I honestly think it's gonna be in the $399, $449 US.
I think he keeps calling it premium to temper expectations, and then it comes out cheaper.
And building a bit of hype around it too. This is a premium thing that this is only for the hardcore, and then the casuals are like, I want that too.
Well, if it has the variants of all the new bells and whistles, I don't think asking 500 is too much of a stretch. If they say we've got this, we're using a variant of Vega, we're using a variant of Zen. People go $500. That's understandable. But if they're using a bit older tech, maybe a Puma or something, I reckon it'll be a bit cheaper.
Yeah, okay.
If they can launch it and say it makes your old games play and look better from day one, people will buy it.
I hope they use that in their marketing.
The guys I play Xbox with, they're not into that. They play Xbox. They've played Xbox for years, but they're not hardcore, in a way. But they're all buying the Scorpio. Yeah, some of them already pre-ordered it, and
it's been a big enough gap between the original Xbox One launching and the Scorpio. Like the last
years?
generation just went too long because of like the financial crisis and stuff like that. Like 8-9 years is way too long. I reckon 4 to 5 years is like you get the one comes out, you get a slim version, and then like
it was
a few
always
years
like
later,
that.
a few years later you get the new one. It's like
That's
tech
right.
moves so fast these days. You can't be waiting 8-9 years between consoles.
Well, look at phones. I mean, people pay what $1,200 for a new phone every year. A console is going to be half that price, a quarter of that price. I can't see why they won't.
That's right. Every 5 years.
People love new tech, you know. Yeah, people love new tech. Gamers are going to buy it in droves. I think it's going to go really well. But I can definitely see the headlines now of plenty of headlines saying that Scorpio is going to be slow out of the gate. I bet you, I guarantee that.
They're already getting the ones which I predict to be more in the future. Do you really need a Scorpio?
Yeah,
that kind of nonsense.
Sure. Well, but what about the too powerful narrative?
Too powerful.
Man.
It's over-engineered. It's over-engineered.
Too much plastic.
Gas run with that. It's too powerful. You don't need 4K.
I like how Phil said when you see it, it's going to look like a premium console. Like when he said that was pretty cool. I wonder what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
What's it going to have flashing lights and shit on the front, or chrome, or what's going on there?
Well, he did say it was a noticeable difference, didn't he? Yeah.
He said it's going to look premium, or whatever he said.
The hype around Scorpio is like because they were like announced it so early. I think they were kind of forced to, but it was still a good move. But this it's been like so long between like concrete news, like. The hype around it, like especially in the Xbox community, and the PlayStation people hate it. But the hype around it's so much more than the Pro got. Like so much more.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Like, well, look, Microsoft is massive news. Like, something goes wrong with Microsoft and it's the world's falling apart. Something goes wrong with another brand, it's like that's a drop in the ocean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
And the Pro wasn't that hyped up that much towards, as it was getting released because people knew that the Scorpio was coming anyway. And
once it didn't get those rumored spec increases.
Yeah, so it didn't matter anymore. It was just really,
feels like,
it's coming.
Yeah, the rumored spec increases. I remember that.
Hello, all you damn Australians. This is Yoshida, your best friend in the whole world. Welcome to Sony Land. I don't love Australians. You guys all play Xbox and it pisses me off. Yoshida is called for a question. Yoshida wants to know what game are you looking forward to, and it better be Bloodborne Part 8, or I'm going to be pissed off and get a boat and come to Australia and kick your ass. And I went free code. Okay, that's all the new questions Yoshida has. Goodbye, podcasters.
Wow.
Man, I told you
Interesting.
I was let Yoshida on the show.
Did Yoshida hack Doug or something? What happened there?
He took Dougie home and they had a really good time. That's what I heard. So they enjoyed themselves immensely.
Shit. Sonic, Supersonic, how good is he?
Supersonic, got the question. Hey, I just looked at the time, man. We've been going for over 2 hours. You guys still okay to go? I know Max has got work at like 3 hours.
Bro, I reckon we'll just make this the last question and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, man. All right, so game we're looking forward to the most.
This year?
Oh, right now, this second.
Right now,
it could be any game coming out.
Yeah, what are you looking forward to right now?
Halo 6.
Ask you shit, I don't know.
Definitely Halo 6. And I can't wait to see the teaser at E3.
Well, I'm actually looking forward to Mass Effect because I haven't played them before and it's 10 hours free play. So I'm going to give that a shot, man. I'm looking forward to that. So see what it's like. It might put me into it. I'm starting into my single player games a little bit more. So it might put me into a new era of gaming. I don't know. So that's what I'm looking forward to see what happens.
If I say the one I'm looking forward to the most right now, it's probably Mass Effect. But this year, it's probably Sea of Thieves. To see what they do with it.
Yeah, definitely. That one looks interesting. That game.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, they've got another tech test this weekend, so.
Yeah, I'm not invited yet.
No.
for me, I would say for exclusive for Microsoft is Crackdown 3. I'm looking forward to. I'm not going to say Mass Effect. I'm going to say the next multi-plat that I'm really, really, really looking forward to is the new Madden, because they have they reworked the engine to the Frostbite.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think it's going to be really crazy. So that's my two, and I'm also looking forward to Cuphead. To be honest, even though it's an indie or it's a smaller game, I think that
the animation in that looks incredible.
Yeah, well,
the hand-drawn animation,
the hand-drawn frame by frame thing.
Ridiculous.
I heard that. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So
I was listening to that live.
Yeah,
I was like, cool. This the amount. No wonder it's been delayed. Doing everything by hand. That's just so crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, pretty good games there. Like Sea of Thieves, man. That we're talking about old school gaming before. Like gaming is a social thing, and I think that's what people like and stuff. So I reckon I'm looking forward to Sea of Thieves too, just for that social aspect. And
I mean, for me, if they can nail the quests and make it interesting to be in that world, because the world looks incredible.
Yeah,
they could have something really, really special.
Hopefully they nail it, because I had the download. I could have played it on the weekend and I didn't. I know there's people out there going to hate me, but it was like 6 a.m. and I didn't play it. I was slept in or whatever. So, but yeah, I'm fucking. I'm dying to have a look at it to see what it's like.
They're adding more stuff bit by bit, because I was like, I played the first tech test, so it's definitely a big improvement from there. But for me personally, like, a lot of it's good, but I reckon the combat needs lots of work. I'm not a big fan of like just the way the guns feel and the way the guns fire, and I want to see some like swords and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I think involving the community.
Early access as well. I'm calling it. They've said something about it, so I reckon it'll be early access.
Cool. Anyway, well, everyone, thanks for watching and listening. You can find all our details in the description if you want to know where to find us. Most people here will know, but there are people who listen during the week and stuff. So look in the description. You'll find where we're going to be. So thanks again, Tim Dog.
Yeah, thanks Tim Dog for stopping by.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Peace Fire.
I know you had to rearrange your work and stuff to get here, so that's really cool, man. We couldn't believe it.
So,
yeah. Big shout out to Tim.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So
and the chat. Sorry, man.
Yeah, and the chat.
And Doug, I love Doug.
And Doug. He's always
Doug. Well, actually, he's here. He made it in, and he's here to stay. So he keeps me busy, that's for sure. But anyway, well, anyway, we've got a few voicemails. So we had Yoshida. We've got another one from Triple Cup Chuck. He left a message for us. So we'll end the show on that. Have a listen. His description's in the his contact details in the description. But yeah,
this goes for a little while, guys. Just a warning. A couple of minutes.
But yeah, he's a talented dude, and he's going to send them in. He said every now and again, like a bit of a wrap up of the Twitter community and stuff. So have a listen, and we'll catch you next week.
See you guys.
Yep, cool. Catch you later, guys. See ya.
What up, YouTube and YouTube Buzz? This your boy Triple Cup Chuck, and I'm up. Hey, you would like to hear something racist? That rhyme with rope? On the back of my Xbox One controller, I be working on paddles like a Cuban on a banana boat. I got the antidote, was album kaleidoscope, and too much A button to break out the gears, keeping the Metacritic from giving a 93. I be at the house playing the game, I don't even be running the streets, but my mama still pray for me, and she call my Xbox the X-Man. I tell her, nah, this not no Wolverine, but I be on Battlefield Snake from so far away, you can't even see me on the TV screen. Fox and she wolf live screen Resident Evil so we can see them scream. It's out for shits and giggles. You know that game of life. And if you like on Twitter, you can retweet RT or hit the right trigger. Hold up. I just seen a post from Stick Figure. Say, bro, tell them trolls to get at me. I'm real precise with my words. I put them in the backseat like I drive a taxi. You heard? Oh, while I'm talking too much shit, Mr. Hanky a turd. And I can't wait to play Fractured Butthole, Uncut and Raw, putting Carmen in the coon car, and I'm going to pop me a ball, and I'm going to shoot to the stars, and I'm going to power up like Mario. Or is his name Mario? Whatever his name is, you know, the dude with the eyes on his hat. And I don't even need no baseball game. But in the next season of the KI, just give me a character with a baseball bat. And speaking about a bat in Nintendo, next gen will beat a dead horse and don't even care. I guess this is what they call crap game and a pony leg break extraordinaire. And I can't wait to get chicken and spaghettis back on so we can be laid back chilling, blowing us good while we train as a shark. We be playing Forza. What y'all got? Mario Kart? And my most anticipated unannounced game for E3 this year? I give you a hint. Joanna Dart.